Well, hello, hello, hello. We're now on lesson 10. So it's been, wow, over a week. We're in our second week now of doing the lessons, and hopefully you're doing okay with them, and being kind to yourself. That's always the most important thing. We talk about love and loving other people, but loving yourself through the process is also really important. So I hope that you're all remembering to do that, and that you are taking it very slowly and gently and with an open heart and an open mind. So let's do lesson 10, shall we? Lesson 10, my thoughts do not mean anything. So this is pretty heavy stuff. Because we get so used to following our thoughts and following what our thoughts are telling us, believing them, and in line with the previous lessons, the idea is that our thoughts come from the past, and if we're letting go of the past, then perhaps we have to really take a look at our thoughts and are they really telling us the truth about what's happening in this moment? And how much meaning do they really have right in the here and now? So my thoughts do not mean anything. Can you feel the resistance? Yeah, I know that feeling, and I feel it quite often. The good thing is that with awareness we can bring ourselves back into the truth of it, and the whole idea of our thoughts not having as much meaning as we like to give them. So this idea applies to all the thoughts of which you are aware or become aware in the practice periods. The reason the idea is applicable to all of them is that they are not your real thoughts. We have made this distinction before and will do so again. You have no basis for comparison as yet. When you do, you will have no doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts did not mean anything. This is the second time we have used this kind of idea. The form is only slightly different. This time the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts. So we're really owning them in this one, whereas before it's a lot easier when you first start out to say these thoughts, because we don't necessarily have to take ownership of them, but we can deal with them, and it is easier to deal with them if we're not saying my thoughts, owning them. So now we're owning them. My thoughts instead of these thoughts, and no link is made overtly with the things around you. The emphasis is now on the lack of reality of what you think you think. This aspect of the correction process began with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless, outside rather than within, and then stressed their past rather than their present status. So we're moving from the past to the effect that they have on us in the present. Now we are emphasizing that the presence of these thoughts means that you are not thinking. This is merely another way of repeating our earlier statement that your mind is really a blank. To recognize this is to recognize nothingness. When you think, you see it. As such, it is the prerequisite for vision. Now, just a little reminder here, because this can get a little bit bulky and tricky, and maybe not really easy to understand. So I really want you to relax into it, and I really want you to not be too stressed about understanding what that is really about, because it's in the doing of the exercises that the awareness and the change really starts to happen. Whether you notice it, right away or not, it's okay. It's really okay. So just really do the lesson and just understand that the thoughts are the things that take us into suffering. And if we can get a little bit of clear vision, a little bit of, perspective on the thoughts and what exactly they are and how they really affect us, then we can really make significant changes in our life. So close your eyes for these exercises and introduce them by repeating the idea for today quite slowly to yourself. Then add, "This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe." I'll repeat that. "This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe." Now, this isn't really too different than affirmations. So it's that repetition of the idea, letting it sink into you, having that intention of healing and of letting go. It is really where the miracle happens, actually. So the exercises consist, as before, in searching your mind for all the thoughts that are available to you, without selection or judgment. Again, we're not going to be discriminating between one thought and another. Try to avoid classification of any kind. So don't put them into little boxes or compartments or sort them by any means, even alphabetically, for goodness sake. In fact, if you find it helpful to do so, you might imagine that you are watching an oddly assorted procession going by, which has little, if any, personal meaning to you. As each one crosses your mind, say, "My thoughts about blank does not mean anything. My thought about blank does not mean anything." So my thought about this bulletin board does not mean anything. My thought about this glass does not mean anything. My thought about this computer does not mean anything. Today's thought can obviously serve for any thought that distresses you at any time. In addition, 5 practice periods are recommended. 5 practice periods today. So, again, don't worry if you don't get them all in, but really make a concerted effort to do so. Each involving no more than a minute or so of mind searching. So that's 5 minutes out of your day, 5, that you can intersperse throughout the day. When the idea hits you, when you remember, you can set, do it first thing in the morning, do it at break time, do it at lunchtime, do it before you go to bed. Just set the times that might make it easier for you to remember. It is not recommended that this time period be extended, and it should be reduced to half a minute or less if you experience discomfort. So if it's starting to frustrate you, or you're feeling resistance, or you're uncomfortable in any way, then just stop and try it again later on. Remember, however, to repeat the idea slowly before applying it specifically, and also to add, "This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe." So what you're going to do is, you're going to state the lesson, "My thoughts do not mean anything." Then for a minute, you're going to be looking around the room. Does this eyes open? No, you're going to be looking at your thoughts or looking at things and recognizing that your thoughts about that thing do not mean anything, and then follow it up with, "This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe." I hope that makes sense. I got kind of jumbled there, but hopefully that makes sense, and give it a go. See how it works out. If you're watching this video and you live in the Oakville, Halton, GTA area, and you're interested in coming to my Course in Miracles study group on Thursday mornings, you can go and find out more about it on my website, which is thesoulconnection.ca, and looking the workshops, classes link will take you to information about it, and you can join us. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow with Lesson 11. Good luck with the lesson today. Bye for now.